Hi, I'm Professor Larry Malik of Western Michigan University. In this video, I want to show you how to create a quiz on e-learning that would be started in an Excel spreadsheet, or actually a CSV file, to make it a whole lot easier to create that quiz. First of all, we got to find where the template is that's hiding in e-learning so we can build this quiz. So go to Assessments, Quizzes, and there, why don't we just add the name of our new quiz while we're at it. And once it comes up, we'll call it Sample Quiz for Video. Okay? And we will save that. Once we've saved it, we could then move to the point of adding and editing questions. So that's where we're going to find the template. So we click Add, Edit Questions. And when it comes up, we're going to click Import. And we're going to click Upload a File. And an upload a file, that's where you're going to see it. So download template CSV. We'll click that and we will save it. And see, it's a sample question import. So now we have that. I'll open it up so you can see what it looks like. And what it has is, you'll notice just as a note here, the two hash marks here on the left denote a comment row. So that row is not read into the e-learning system when you import it back in. But what you can see here is all the different question types are in this file: written response, short answer, matching questions, multiple choice, true false, multi-select, where more than one answer can be correct, and an ordering question type. So what I've done to simplify this is I've taken out the least common used types of questions, so that we're left with really, how do you create a quiz or an exam that only has short answer questions and multiple choice questions. Let me go through these in order. So a short answer question has you'll notice that there are different field names over here essentially. So SA is a short answer type, and that is a variable that you want to ensure is there. The ID can be any ID that you give it. I've chosen to call it the name given on my e-learning system, so EDMM 4020-950. And a title is really a nickname. No one's going to see this but you, but when you see the list of questions, this will show up and you'll know, oh yeah, that's the question. This is the actual question text the student will see in the online quiz. Lists the 5 ways manufacturing can save the world. And you can give it points. So if you have a 50-point quiz, this might be 5 points, or this might be 50, depending on how you've designed your quiz. Difficulty, this was put in by default. I don't really care. I usually just leave those at whatever they are. Image, there is a way to bring in an image file. This video will not cover that, but it involves using a URL of a specific format to do that. Input box, this is the number of lines. This is the number of characters per line in that input box for the student to provide their answer. If you need more, make it more. Maybe we'll call it 6 lines. Okay? Answer, when I do short answer questions, I grade them manually. I'm not expecting them to actually match word for word an answer. So I just put 0 in there for their score. So that way I don't have to go back and change those. They're default to 0. I'll go in and grade them myself and put in the score that they earned. Hint and feedback are actually populated in the template that you would download. I leave those blank. And then a multiple choice, which many of us are looking for this to be used. You have to have the options A, B, C, and D here in column 3. So I'll go this line by line again. MC is the multiple choice type question. You'll need to have that actually as capital M, capital C for the system to read it as a multiple choice question. Again, here's the ID for the course. Make it what you want, but I would make it consistent within the particular quiz file here. Title is a nickname again. The title, I just called it how many. That triggers my mind is, oh yeah, how many multiple choice questions are on this quiz? This is the actual quiz text presented to the student. This is the number of points, and I've just left the default difficulty as 1. Now, these 4 items over here are the responses. You could have more responses or fewer. Just add lines or delete lines and call it option, and put the actual response you want them to choose from. Realizing that you can later on randomize these, so these may not necessarily be A, B, C, and D, but what you'll do is you'll put 100 next to the correct answer, and you'll put 0 next to the incorrect answers. Okay? You could, if you wanted to say, well, I'm going to give partial credit for if they put 7. I'll give them half credit. You could put 50 there, for example. Okay? I don't tend to do that. It's either right or it's wrong. Most multiple-choice exams I've seen are that way, but up to you. Hint and feedback, I've deleted the hint and feedback fields because I don't provide that information. Here's another multiple-choice question, and I've also put in a true-false question just to show you what this is. It's basically a variation of the multiple choice. Title is remote, and the question text the student will see is, going remote is the easiest thing I've ever done. And then again, points 1, difficulty 1. True is 100, that would be your correct answer, and false is 0, the incorrect answer, and then that's all you need to do. So then you go up here and you save the file, and it's going to prompt you. Keep it in CSV format. That's the format required for import into the D2L system. Okay, so I'm going to close this file. It's going to ask me again, just because I'm nervous, I think I'll just save it again, right? Okay, and it's going to overwrite it and tell me to overwrite it. Okay, and I'm going to say yes. Okay, so now I'm going to import that file. Upload a file, and there we go. I can drag and drop. So I'm going to minimize my screen a little bit so I can go over here and find it. There it is. Okay, drag and drop. It's reading it in, and I'm going to import them now. And I'm going to make my screen bigger so you can see. But now you can see the questions that we wrote. 5 ways manufacturing can save the world. How many questions on this test? I enjoy working remote, things like that. And so if you want to edit these, and I'll show you some tricks here too, that's a short answer, but say you want to randomize the responses. Go in and edit each individual question. Okay, and so here is the short description, the question text, the answers with the correct one marked by a check mark here. I can randomize those answers, and they'll come up random. Realize if you use something like, D, all of the above, you'll want to change that to be all responses are correct. That way, if it shows up first, second, third, last, whatever, the student will know that that is the equivalent of all the above are correct, because it won't necessarily be above. All right, and then we would save, and it'll go back to the screen with all the questions on it. All right. So once you've done the things you want to do there, maybe you want to randomize the other multiple choice. I wouldn't really randomize the true-false. People tend to see true first and false second. We'll click Done Editing Questions. Now that we're done editing questions, maybe you want to randomize questions at the quiz level, so they don't show up 1, 2, 3, 4 here. They'll show up randomly in order. And so if we save that, then each student will have somewhat of a randomized by question and by response quiz. And you can see if you get maybe a 10-item quiz, it's going to be really hard for a student to sit next to someone else and cheat. And here's another thing that you should do. Go under Restrictions, and when you set up this quiz, you have an estimate how long it should take. A 4-item quiz. Of course, you're going to have to identify when it's due and all this, start date and end date, like you would on any other e-learning item. But timing, I would go with enforced time limit, and I would go about a minute per item. I'll give it 5 minutes with 1 minute before it's flagged, and I want to prevent the student from working on it after the time is up. And so I will save that. And now I have my quiz. Okay? And so what we can do is we actually preview it, see what it looks like from a student point of view. And we will hit Start Quiz. So we'll start rendering the quiz to the screen for the student to take. There will be a timer, and away we'll go. So there we are. There's the timer. And notice how it's not the short answer question first, as it was in my original quiz. It randomized them, and the short answer one this time showed up last. So if we have 5 minutes, that really limits the ability to cheat, and it makes them focus on getting the questions. So they'll answer their questions, and then they'll submit, but I'm just going to exit the preview. Okay? So you may say, well, how do I really guarantee good exam and quiz security? In another video on my channel, I talk about a Respondus lockdown browser, which has some very good and monitor. It shows up here, and it allows you to lock down the browser and also to monitor the student while they're taking the quiz or exam. And you can watch that video and learn how to do that also on this channel. So good luck with all the things that you're doing as we work our way through this season. Thank you.